Okay, I have a loud voice, so I'll try not to boom you out with the microphone on top of that. So I am an assistant principal at Barberton Elementary East. This is my 6th year in administration. And being an assistant, you're dealing with a lot of the discipline. And so our district uses progress book, and we were always putting the discipline in a progress book. But it wasn't giving us the reports that we really needed to kind of dive in and figure out what's going on, how do we need to make some changes. So last year was our first year that we actually purchased Swiss, and the reports have been so time-saving, especially just on my end with trying to figure out things, and just when our PBIS team meets, makes our meetings go so much quicker. I'm going to start out with kind of tier 1. What I'm going to show you is basically how our teachers document the minors and the data that we have for that, and then I'll go into the Swiss tier 1 majors, and then I'll go into tier 2, which is brand new for us this year, of using the data for that. So we are using Dojo, and we took our behavior matrix that we created for PBIS, and the teachers did use the language on our behavior matrix to do the Dojos, what they would earn points for. So where you see it says homework RTL, that's our ready to learn. Keep area clean, that's responsible and safe. So they were using the language on that. So the teachers have the positives and also the negatives, and I know PBIS really focuses on the positives, but this is just for the teachers to track the minor behaviors. What happens is with the use of the majors, or the use of the green and red, we get reports like this. So this is one child's behavior report for the week of September 22nd. So we can see exactly where the areas were that there was some difficulty. So the teachers have access to this on a daily basis, and it also do monthly reports. So it just helps us to be able to make decisions in the classroom. And again, this is all minor things that are not being seen in the office. So we use the Dojo for the minors, but for the majors, they fill out an office referral. And when they come to the office, we will look at our Swiss. And I'm going to actually put you into what my Swiss looks like here. Hopefully it'll go without problems. So this is basically when you first log into Swiss, it gives you an overview of all the reports. So just at a glance, I can kind of see, you can see our month of September, we had several office referrals. It was quite a jump there for us. So Swiss, once an office referral comes in, we enter it into Swiss, which really takes less than 2 minutes. Then it will give us this information. So I can find out how many office referrals we have per month. We can also see referrals by the time that they have happened. And so you can obviously see, like, this is right around our lunch and recess times is when we're seeing a spike there. This tells us what location. So most of ours are coming from the classroom right now. This is our days of the week. So when are we having the most referrals during the week? Our problem behavior, physical aggression is our highest right at the moment. It also does it by grade level and by students. So you can obviously go in and get each of these reports individual. These are the reports that I print out, and when our PBIS team meets, they look at this. So they will look at, okay, what do we need to do with physical aggression? What do we need to do to lower the office referrals that are coming out of the classroom? What do we need to do during that recess time to control the amount of office referrals? So these are the reports that they will use to make decisions for that tier 1 data and kind of guide their discussion. One of the biggest things that I love as an administrator is the pyramid, because when you're dealing with behavior all the time, you kind of start to feel like, wow, what's happening in my building? Everybody's just falling apart. And I look at these and I go, whoa, what's going on? Back before we started using Swiss, I would sit for hours. I'd print out all the behavior reports and calculate by hand to get my pyramid. Swiss does that for me, which is so nice. And I'm not quite sure why it does this really strange box.
It'll do that anytime you have more than 1 year of data.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not a triangle. But this is, so this is my triangle for this year. And you can obviously see we're on the right track. But when I look at all those reports, it breaks my heart because I'm going, okay, we're really struggling, what's going on? But then when I can look at this quickly and just kind of put it back in a perspective of, okay, we're still on the right track for that. That is very helpful. So that is kind of our tier 1 data collection. For tier 2, those kids that are kind of in that yellow are, we do a check-in and check-out. So students that we identified in maybe tier 1, as we're looking, man, they are having office referrals quite a bit. We say 2 within a month. Or if a teacher comes to us and requests that a student be put on check-in, check-out, they are given a sheet, and on that sheet, they come up with the goal. So what is it that they want that student to work for and improve that behavior? And then they check in and check out with an adult in the building to just encourage them in the morning and then follow up on how they're doing throughout the day. So then when we've been using tier 2, but we really didn't have anywhere to put that information, so we were kind of just looking at their sheets and going, yeah, I think this is working. So this year we started using the tier 2 on Swiss, and it has been definitely a blessing. So this is what it looks like once I put everything in. This is one student. Their goal is 80%, so that is that horizontal line that you see going up there. Anytime there's a green dot, they have hit their goal of 80%. Anytime a red dot, obviously they did not. So it kind of gives us a real quick visual of like, is this working, is this not? Now at our meeting tomorrow, we will look at all these individual reports and we will decide, do we need to up this child's goal? Because obviously 80% is where we want them, and then we can start to wean them off of a goal. So we do have one student who we're starting to kind of wean off, where we're only checking in with them like once every couple of days, and then we'll get them totally off of the check-in, check-out. You'll see the 2 vertical lines where it says 909 and 916. Those are where we have made plan changes, so where we upped. So on the 16th is when we upped this particular student's goal to 80%. They were at a lower one. So it kind of gives us an idea. If you look between that 09 and 016, how many dots were above the line, that's why we raised the line. And that raising was a little difficult for this student, but they're doing okay. And then you can even get specific, like it'll give you exact data on their days. So here, you know, like we look at 9-9, this student got 90%, which was 10% above their goal. If you look at 9-12, they had 62%, which was obviously below their goal. So they give you that specific if you want to really break it down into what percentages. And again, the data really takes just, I was actually putting some in while I was waiting in my car to come in this morning. I was putting some data in, it goes in very quickly. So then we have like one particular student who's really struggling. I believe this is his. You can see he only has 3 periods during the day that they're tracking data. Most of our students have 5 because we are K4. Our 4th grade students switch teachers, and there's 3 teachers, so they only collect data for those 3 periods. The other ones that are in a classroom with 1 teacher for most of the day do 5 periods where they collect data. But, so we went to this teacher and we said, okay, what is going on in first period? How come this student is able to meet their goal in second and third? What's going on? And we found out that this child, it's a brand new teacher, not to the district, but to our building. And this was a child who was in our ED department and has now come out. He started out last year, he's out full time, and just him and the teacher are not getting along. And so he's refusing to work, and just, so it's really more about building a relationship there, so we can see that. I also had another student where all the data was kind of reversed. There was very low areas and one area was really high. So we went to that teacher and we said, what's going on during this period? Well, here it was their lunch and recess time, because some of the kids do struggle during recess, and so they put that area on there. Well, here that was the one area where the child was doing really well in, and so it really gives us information to go back to the teacher. So we pull all these reports and basically just take a look at them during our meetings to kind of see where we need to make some changes and what's going on. It just provides us a lot of extra data. Any questions?
How many kids do you have on your tier 2?
So I would say right now we're probably at about 8. And I have a couple of more where teachers are kind of deciding whether or not they want to put them on. It might be between like 8 and 10 that are on that check-in, check-out. And right now our office aide puts our data for tier 1 in the system for me. And I'm still putting in the data for tier 2 just because it's new and I want to kind of figure it all out. But it's, like I said, it's super easy to put in. But what happens is on Fridays, I ask the teachers who have a student on the check-in, check-out, make a copy of their weekly form, put it in my mailbox, and then over the weekend or Monday morning, I put it into the system.
Is there an option, like once the building gets comfortable with it, will the teachers be able to directly enter that tier 2 data in, or does it have to be the administrator?
Well, you can actually put on whoever you want to have access. I would just be leery of putting too many people on, because you want to make sure that the data is accurate. And so the more people that have access, the more chance of error could be in there. But we were just talking this morning, our ED units are going to be actually doing check-in, check-out on all their students. I will give that teacher access so she can put her students in. But building-wide, most of it is our tier 2 team that have access to that data. Yes?
Do you know the max number of periods you can enter for a student?
5. Yeah, and we had to tweak it a little bit to fit ours. And we're not sure, I don't know if we ever got the answer to this, but when we were doing it, the way they have it set up is, you know, every school has their 3 major, behavior expectations. So the data, when you enter it, is the children earn 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 points for those periods. So we had to tweak it a little bit to fit us, but it seems to be working really well. But yeah, you can put in, I don't believe you can put in more than 5 periods. I would have to go in and double check that. You think you might be able to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll check.
Okay. Yeah, you go in, so when you get into Swiss, you actually go in and you set up like how many days per month you're in school. You put your students in, and you can set up like how many, you have a little bit of wiggle room to change some things. So I don't know, maybe I just set ours up for 5, but I would have to double check on that. Any other questions? Yes.
What is your tier 2? Tier 2? Like, do you have a tier 1?
We do. Our tier 1 team is basically one represented from every grade level. And one of the teachers on the team is actually one of the parents in our building as well. So she kind of gives us feedback. Her daughter's in a different grade than she teaches. So kind of gives us feedback on that. And then our tier 2 team is one of our ED teachers, so special ed, one of our specials teachers who sees all the kids in the building, our school psychologist, our counselor, our RTI coach. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of that.
You said counselor?
I didn't say counselor yet. But there may be one or so. And then, our district representative will come when she's available as well. So that's the hardest thing. Right now, our PBIS teams meet at the same time. So we're kind of meeting in the library, so I can kind of bounce back and forth. Tier 1, pretty much since we've been using PBIS for so many years, kind of runs itself. But sometimes they have questions that need answered. So I've been really focusing more on Tier 2 right now, but kind of meeting at the same time so I can bounce back. Any other questions?